Hey everyone, Kenny Tony coming at you today. Thank you for checking out this video. What we're going to do is jump right into there to the second half of the YZ250F motor rebuild. So in the last video we got the bottom end all completed and everything. So now we're just going to get the top end done, get the valves, get the cams, get everything in there as it should be, and get this back into the machine and see if it's going to work.
So alright everyone, here we are back with the engine. I'm sorry, I started doing a couple things. I put the piston on without hitting the record button, but you know, the piston going on was simple. You basically just push the rod through. So you get your piston, you push the rod that goes through, and then you put your two clamps on the side. But we need to know that the piston goes on directionally. So right here are the exhaust valves, and here are the intake. So the exhaust side comes to the front, the intake goes to the back. And when I lined up my rings, I put the upper ring is going to be 90 degrees here, the lower ring is going to be 90 degrees there, and then we're going to split the difference between the two. This is what YZ says, and we're going to put our lower ring of the oil ring here, the upper ring of the oil ring here, and the expander ring right there in the middle, one of these two sides. So that's how I have my rings on there. What we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to feed my timing chain through. And up on there. Then we're going to get our guide back in. We're going to use these two 10 millimeters, and we're going to put some thread lock on them. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this around, and I'm going to go ahead and put my stator in and this little spacer here. We're going to get all these little areas together. So when you put this on, the chain won't come off. So I know some people might be concerned of that. The chain is going to stay in that guide. You just got to maybe have to work it on if it has an issue, but that shouldn't be a problem. So we're going to go ahead and put our Woodruff key. In. We're going to go ahead and get our stator on. So Woodruff key's up, we're going to put in that little notch. we're going to try to torque this down to 60. Let's set it back up. So those covers that I powder coated. Got my gasket on there. These little small ones in there to hold place, but we're going to put that cover on there. Got that powder coated as well. Well, I powder coated it as well. This rocket's powder coated. So I put like a washer on here to keep these threads from getting powder in there, because that will be a pain. So alright, we're going to go ahead and get the 1/16. Snap it on a couple. Right. Bottom end's done. So now here we are. Timing chains up and over. Pistons all right. So we're gonna get the washer, the gasket on there. Put a little oil on the inside. So now we're going to just make sure we slide. I'm going to pinch the rings and see about getting it on. But make sure if you're going to do that, you get this slide in there first. Alright, so that's in there. butter smooth. Our new head gasket. So get it all right. So we're gonna get these nuts put back on here, and then we're gonna get the one that holds the cylinder down. Then we're gonna torque down the head bolts. As when I took out, I stated that there were long and short head bolts. Short ones go on the outside with your washer. Long ones on the inside. I'm a little. So what it was my shim, or my little spacer, was a little bit too narrow, so I found another one that fit properly. And now we're going to torque out each of these bolts down to 27. Head is torqued down. So what we're waiting on is one of the caps to go right here, and we'll get that in here in a minute. But we're going to go ahead and put the exhaust cam in. So the cams have two dots. Let's see if I can get them on camera. Here's one, and then here's the other. So on the exhaust side, this one is going to be flat with this, and the other one's going to be in the air once we have this at top dead center. So the slot is lined up. The exhaust is. And we'll get the cam one in there as soon as we get that piece. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. There we go. So that's the hash right there. Straight up and down. And then up here, we have the one in the air and the other one's right level with it. And we'll do the exact same thing for the intake side. All right, so we just got the motor twisted. Got my lube there. So we finally got one of the caps in the mail. It took a little bit. So we got the cap in the mail. This was the third one that we ended up ordering. So we're going to go ahead and get the cam in there. And as I stated before, at the 3 o'clock mark, that's going to go flat right here. And then at the 12 o'clock mark, the other one is going to go straight up to the top. So you have these two dots. So as you see, it's still off right here. And we're going to just make sure we're going to move it to one more tooth the other way. So here we go with that. That's spot on. So as I stated, here's how they look. Dot right here, pretty level. When I put pressure in there on the cam chain, these two level, these two dots up in the air, timing set, and we're still at top dead center with the bottom. So this is all in timed. What we're going to do is put the caps on. Make sure you put the clips on the very top. Is the other clip coming across? Here's the other clip in there. And those clips go in that little groove right there. Those are in. Let's get the bolts on top. So we went ahead and just use this clip here to screw that tensioner back in. We're going to get that gasket sitting on there. So I'm just going to undo that, it twisted on its own, tension. So we got plenty of tension here on that now. With the tensioner, as it works its way and moves, it's going to tighten itself up. And I'm sorry about the audio for anyone. My My microphone messed up. And let's make sure we put the cap back in there. So we're just going to turn this over. We're going to go counterclockwise. So we're going to get it back to top dead center again, and then just test the cams. So we've gotten this back on. This isn't a video about doing the shimming or anything, but all of these came out of a running machine, so we're going to assume that it all works well. We're going to go ahead and put the spark plug back in. So it looks like we have the motor completely closed up. We're just going to go around once or twice and see if we can check some compression. See if it's going to be a little, should be a little challenging to turn over. Not horrible, but. All right, everyone. So we're going to be outside. YZ250F. Let's get it started and see what we can do with it. Yeah, it's storming a little bit, but I want to hurry up and just get this done so we can get this video uploaded. All good. All right, everyone. Got the YZ250F complete. I did put a Pro X high compression piston in it for the 2008. I didn't feel that it was okay to just leave that one out. So everything is back together. Everything is reassembled. It doesn't take a couple kicks to get it started. I'm not a dirt bike rider, so it's something new to me. But I was able to get it started. Goes through all the gears. We're going to go ahead and turn this thing around and see what the next project's going to be.